Welcome back, John Morris Show on a Wednesday morning. Look who's here, our good friend, and we hope yours, Jerry Hill, in studio with us. Welcome to
Love it. Love the studio.
We love you coming in.
By historic Elm Avenue.
Historic Elm Avenue is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Absolutely.
TFNB Studios. We got Garrett with a camera now on him when we go to Garrett over there. So, man, what could be better? Who has it better than we do?
I can't think of anyone. Like this is
nobody.
What a setup, I mean,
that's good. And you and I talking Baylor athletics, so let's do that. Mentioned baseball won last night. That was good. It's UTA week. Baseball beat UTA, and now softball plays up there today.
Yeah, and softball needs to kind of get back on track, John. You know that they've struggled a little bit here lately, particularly that Houston series where you really felt like if not a sweep, you needed to at least win that series, and you lose 2 of 3. That Friday night game that went forever, I think that took a lot out of them. Thankfully they did come back and win Saturday, but they've really got to get back on track because that one kind of set them back a little bit. So I think they need to kind of get back on track. Got a big series coming up this weekend at Kansas.
Yeah, I think they are, and I did the game Monday against Lamar, and they lost that one in extra innings also. They seem like they're dragging a little bit. I don't know what it is. If they're tired, I don't know. It's been a tough schedule.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is exactly, but they lost Carrington Dawson, to that injury. I think that might be a factor also.
Well, and I was listening or seeing some of Glenn's quotes after that game, the Lamar game, I think in particular was. They're losing games that they were winning earlier. And he kind of warned them, like, because they kept coming back and winning, they would get behind and they'd come back. And he kind of, told them then, like, it's going to catch up with you. You can't keep playing like this. And I think that's what's happened somewhat too, is, kind of the odds are switching back the other way or whatever. But they've got to get it turned around somehow. And that was a big blow with Carrington Dawson toward the top of the lineup. And, one of your better hitters, good fielder, all that. So that was a big blow. But I think thankfully they do have some depth this year. Yeah. A lot of it's young, but they do have some depth this year.
Yeah. So softball at UTA today and then at Kansas this weekend.
Right.
We were talking earlier, Masters. This is Masters week, which is fun.
Yeah.
And Johnny Keffer is there, which is great.
Yeah.
You're a good source for this.
Right.
Is he the best golfer in Baylor men's golf history?
And like you said, we were talking about it, and I think when you look just at Baylor, I think he is. Stroke average, all that. Him and Jimmy Walker were pretty close as far as that. He actually broke Jimmy Walker's career scoring average. But then, then when you add the pro stuff on top of it, and granted, Jimmy's won a major, Jimmy's won more on the PGA Tour. Johnny's just getting started, but I think, and particularly if you just look at the Baylor years, of course he had 5 instead of 4, but Johnny had an unbelievable career, and one thing that I don't know that it goes unnoticed, but the fact that he was the 3-time Big 12 academic scholar athlete of the year, 3 times.
That's huge. Yeah.
So he's not a guy that just came and played golf. He was a good student as well, got his degree and all that. So, I think those would be the 2 I would put up there. Kyle Jones was another really good one, but I'd probably put those 2 up there. Tim Hobby, when he was here,
he played in the Masters. Do you remember that?
John, you're bringing up bad memories, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was it was when he was at Baylor, and he qualified because he won like the U.S. Pub Links or one of the amateur tournaments to get in.
Right.
I'm at the Waco Trib at that time. And I petitioned to go to the Masters.
A
Baylor student playing at the Masters. Well, so we were part of the Cox chain.
Oh no!
And Atlanta is right there, so they were like, "No, we can't do that." Atlanta's right there. So all I did was I got him on the phone each day.
Oh man!
Not the same as big. I've never been to the Masters, so still a bucket list item. Maybe I'll get that sometime.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to bring that up.
Yeah. No, I thought you knew that story. I think you intentionally did.
No,
that.
I did not intentionally.
All right.
But that was pretty cool. I remember that when Tim Hobby was there as a Baylor student,
That's right.
as an amateur playing in the Masters. So we'll watch Johnny Keffer. That'll be fun this week. I wonder if Mike McGraw is going.
I haven't talked to him. I wonder that as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he went. Mike has been to the Masters,
Yes, he has.
He has been a few times, as well as Matt Roberts from our staff has been several times.
Right.
So, and Johnny's first off. Johnny's
is he?
His tee time is 6:40 a.m. I guess that's Central, maybe.
Okay.
But 6:40 a.m. First duo off.
Wow, cool. That'll be great.
Yeah.
All right, fun to watch that.
Yeah.
Track and field has another home meet coming up. A smaller one comes up on Friday.
Yeah, it's a one-day meet, Baylor Invitational. Last one was the Clyde Hart Classic, a 2-day event, and then we got the Michael Johnson coming up in a couple of weeks. That's the bigger one. This is like 7 teams, I think, John. But TCU's here, Tarleton's here, LSU's here, so there's still some good teams. It's just a smaller meet, and it starts at 10 a.m., ends at 5:20. I like that part. Now that may seem like a full day, but I remember the Friday of the Clyde Hart, I was out there at like 10:30 and left at 8:30 or 9.
Right.
It's just a long day. So this will be short in comparison. But hosting the Baylor Invitational this week. Had a good meet at the Texas Relays. The women set a record in the 4x2 relay.
Right.
Molly Haywood won again in the pole vault. So they're rocking and rolling, John. The women, I haven't seen this week, but last week they were ranked 12th in the nation in the first rankings of the spring or in the outdoor season. So,
how many places can you run a 4x200 relay?
There's not a lot,
right.
And I know there are some, but I was surprised that it even it is in the Baylor record books, and it's got even a top 10 list and whatever.
Okay.
So there are some places that do it, but it's those type of events like relay meets. So that's Drake Relays is another one.
Makes sense.
In Iowa, they do that quite a bit. So there's some, but not a lot of them do the 4x2.
All right, acrobatics and tumbling completed a perfect regular season, a win over the other titan in the sport, Oregon, on Monday night, I guess it was. I think it was Monday.
It was Monday,
So undefeated regular season, on to the national championships again.
It's just like I was trying to think of a comparison, John, and you mentioned John Wooden before. I think that's probably the closest thing, but just, and I know they continue to push themselves. That's the thing. They're the best and they know they're the best, but they keep, pushing the envelope and trying new things and pushing the sport. So I think that's what kind of keeps them going. They haven't lost in, I guess last loss would have been maybe 20 or 21.
That's right. Yes.
So,
Oregon.
It's been a long time and she's only lost twice since she's been here. And that was both of those to Oregon. So, it's an incredible run. Go to nationals later this month in California. So Azusa, I believe. So they'll go there in a few weeks and hopefully bring back number 11.
Yeah, would be number 11.
Yeah.
And number 15 for
15, yes. Good gosh.
That would be national championships.
Yeah.
That would be every national championships that's ever been awarded.
Yeah.
Fee Mulkey has been the coach of that team. 4 at Oregon and now 10 at Baylor.
And I'm wondering, with the NCAA thing, is this the last I hadn't asked her that, but is this the last NCATA?
It is.
Championship?
Yes.
Because now it goes to NCAA. I wasn't sure if they would still do both or not, but
it goes to NCAA and that'll be fine. She says the only difference is it's a blue dot, with NCAA on it. So it'll be fine. And I think we should host next year.
Absolutely.
The first ever NCAA acrobatics and tumbling championship.
We just going to put it in there. I mean, it's already done, right? We've signed the contract. We're hosting that NCAA.
I think that, but I don't know that.
Yeah, that may not be up to us.
They're making a pitch for it. For sure. So that'll be fun. Here's something interesting that I'll throw out there. Fee is on our coaches show this Thursday, tomorrow night from Rudy's. And it was going to be Casey Maxwell, equestrian coach, and Felicia Mulkey were our 2 scheduled. Yeah. Well, Casey's season has come to an end. Yeah. We had her on 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I gave her the option of bowing out and not doing this show. I said, it's completely your choice. Come if you want to, we'll wrap up your season. She said, well, if that's my choice, I'll back out. And I said, no problem. Yeah. And I thought I'll plug somebody else in there and then Fee. And the 2, 3, 4 people I've thought about plugging in, it hasn't worked.
Right.
So we may have Felicia Mulkey for the whole hour, which would be great.
Oh, that would be awesome.
You know, I mean, I don't think we've ever done that.
Do you want to do 30 minutes with me?
With you?
As a kind of a lead-in to Felicia?
Thanks. Let me get back to you on that.
Am I the 5th option?
Yes. You're number 5 on
number
the list.
5, yeah.
But I think an hour with Fee would be great.
She could fill that, you know.
Usually it's 30 minutes with the coaches.
Yeah.
And with her, it always goes by so fast. And there's so many unanswered questions or questions we don't get to.
Right.
So it may be an hour with Fee tomorrow night.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
She will fill it, and she won't have any problems filling it.
Now, if she's watching this, she's finding this out for the first time. So I got to check it. I got to check with her and see if it works with her schedule. But that may happen. Yeah. All right. What else is going on tennis wise? What's going on in tennis?
Yeah, tennis. The men have a really big match Sunday. They play before that, and I'm trying to remember who they play earlier this week at Tech. But then the big one is TCU on Sunday, 1:00. That'll be a big one because I think they can play for a share of the conference championship.
Ooh, nice.
So that would be big for them. Women's tennis, they play at Colorado on Thursday, and then at Tech on Saturday. So like you were talking about UTA week, I guess it's Tech week for for tennis. And then golf, women's golf. Right now, they led going into today is the final round of the Mo. Texas A&M hosts it at the Traditions Club, and the women led going into today. And the last time I checked, they were still up, I think, 1 stroke or maybe tied with A&M. So, hopefully they can hold on and win a tournament title. And regardless, it's been a really good week for them.
Yeah, that's terrific. All right. Football spring practice is going on. They were out there yesterday. I couldn't go out yesterday. Right. You were there for the interviews with the with Coach Jeremy Modkins and the quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I was honestly, John, I was trying to remember because I couldn't remember exactly when he was at Marlin. And so we chatted for a minute after that and realized, I would have covered him when he was in high school at Marlin. A great player there. So, and he was good. I mean, he was a real good interview. You know, obviously he's new to the program. It's kind of an interesting deal because it's a smoother transition, I think, because he had been with Paul Gonzalez before, been kind of in that same system. Now, granted, Klanderman has changed things up, but I think for the cornerbacks, the fact that it's almost kind of the same voice, I think that helps them. And there's a lot of new faces there as well, but I think that helped them that, here's a guy that worked with Gonzalez for several years. Yeah. So,
What's your sense on Baylor spring football? Are they, getting the stuff done that they need to?
I think so, John. Haven't had a ton of injuries, so that's a good thing, knock on wood. And that's, so they've got, I don't remember how many more practices left. They have 15 altogether. And I think one of the things Coach Modkins said yesterday was, if we're not better on practice 15 than we are right now, then we're not doing the job. But he sees the progress. So I think that's been their big thing is just, getting better every day. Right. And I think that's what they're doing out there.
I think practice tomorrow and then a little scrimmage on Saturday.
That's right. Yeah.
Which would be fun. Not open to the public, sorry to say.
Yeah.
But remember the Fan Fest that comes up on April 25th. Chance to see football, not a spring game per se, but just their final practice.
Well, and so then you can kind of pair it all together because Michael Johnson meet will be going on. So you can just kind of cross the parking lot.
Well, that's the week.
Go to Fan Fest. Oh, it is the week. So the baseball and softball both in town, right?
Yep.
So that's all. There's always 1 week like that in the spring at least. And that happens to be that week when everybody is in town. This is a little different because just about everybody's out of town this week, except for track hosting that meet and then tennis playing here on Sunday against TCU. So men's golf goes Monday, and they're going to West Virginia. It's a newer tournament that they're playing in there, with one of the conference teams. So and they've done a lot better, John. They've had a good spring. They're actually above 500 now. So, they're in position where if their ranking was good enough and, they finished strong enough that they could still get an NCAA regional. So hopefully they finish out strong and do that and have a postseason.
Very good. Yeah. Anything else we need to cover?
Spin the wheel. I'm trying to remember if we have anything else.
Did
we? I think we did.
Yeah.
And if we left out somebody, I'm sorry. EQ finished up. So
yeah.
I think we've done it all, John.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. Door is always open to you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Jerry Hill, Baylor Insider. Always great to visit with him, get his thoughts on all things Baylor athletics. Take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up, share some birthdays with you. Any birthdays you want to get on the list?
Say April. What is today?
Today's
April
the 8th. Yes.
I don't know if I have any.
Okay.
April 26th. Jonathan Hill is coming up.
All right. Well,
so we'll save that.
We'll promote that April 26th.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
Take a break. Back with more right after this.